Good afternoon. My name is Robert Williams, and I have the pleasure of serving as the Executive Director of the New York State Gaming Commission. The Commission touches upon all aspects of lawful gaming activity in the state, including horse racing and pari-mutuel wagering, Class III Indian gaming, the state lottery, video lottery gaming, casino gaming, charitable gaming, and most recently, mobile sports wagering. I am joined here today by Laura Premiana, the Vice President of Hospitality here at Rivers Casino and Resort, Patricia Lincourt, Associate Commissioner for Addiction Treatment and Recovery Services at the Office of Addiction Services and Supports, Jim Maney, the Executive Director of the New York Council on Problem Gambling, Amy McBride, the Assistant Director of Prevention at the New York Council, and Kelly Delaney, the Program Manager of the Northeast Problem Gambling Resource Center. We're also fortunate today to be joined by Commission Chairman Brian O'Dwyer. Chairman O'Dwyer would like to say a few things to open up today's event. Chairman?
Thank you, Mr. Williams. While I am relatively new to the problem of problem gambling, being appointed chair of the Gaming Commission just last spring, I've quickly learned how important it is to raise awareness of the issue as the gaming landscape has expanded and continues to evolve in New York State, and particularly in these days where mobile sports wagering has been accepted. I often say that with great joy and great benefit also comes great responsibility. And I believe that we in the state of New York and the Gaming Commission have a great responsibility in terms of problem gambling. I'm impressed by what the Responsible Play Partnership has accomplished in the last decade. My predecessors, Mark Gearin and Barry Sample, both recognize the significance of this issue. I and my fellow commissioners and our staff are committed to continuing to recognize and promote the great work done by the experts in the field of problem gambling, prevention, and education. We are honored to be part of this event, and we promise and pledge that upmost in our minds, with the great benefit that has come to the state of New York, that we too are cognizant of the problem of problem gambling, and will do all that we can to combat it. Thank you all, and I'll turn the program over to Mr. Williams and our other speakers.
When the Commission was founded, senior staff were surprised to find the state's regulatory gaming structure had not established any formal relationship with either of the two major organizations involved with problem gambling. That's the New York Council on Problem Gambling and the Office of Addiction Services and Supports, or OASIS. The lack of these relationships led to the creation of the Responsible Play Partnership, a tripartite organization that was formed in part to ensure that the New York Council on Problem Gambling had direct and continuing access to senior leadership at the Commission and OASIS. Since its founding, the members of the RPP have met quarterly to discuss policy issues and development, work on appropriate messaging, and, for the Commission, obtain input on responsible gaming practices. This year marked the 20th anniversary of the establishment of the National Council on Problem Gambling's Problem Gambling Awareness Month, and the 10th anniversary of the founding of the Responsible Play Partnership. The anniversaries have caused me to consider the work that we have undertaken in this arena. Among other things, the Commission has created several requests for application for commercial casino development that contain stringent requirements for bidders to include comprehensive, responsible gaming plans. We helped develop legislation that established New York's first dedicated problem gambling funding mechanism via an annual fee for each slot machine and table game that's used at a commercial gaming facility. This has generated more than $14 million for OASIS. We've worked with industry trade organizations to educate their members on best practices to prevent youth access to lottery products, and have mandated training for our 15,000 lottery retail agents to ensure that they understand the role they play in interdiction. We also created the nation's first ever lottery QR code, providing direct access to problem gambling professionals. And probably the most effective thing that we do is we've driven attention by producing multiple public service announcements each year to raise awareness of problem gambling and to publicize the New York Helpline. In this regard, the Commission has developed and produced numerous public service radio and television announcements over the past decade. We work with the lottery's media purchasing agency to be able to place these public service announcements free of charge during optimal viewing or listening times. The total fair market value of running these spots since we started at our last accounting was $9.9 million. This effort has led to hundreds of millions of impressions of the Hope Line. Our spreading of responsible gaming messaging frees up funding that the New York Council or Oasis might have had to use to publicize the Hope Line number. So why are we holding a problem gambling awareness event in May when March has been designated Problem Gambling Awareness Month? Well, today's event is because we want to ensure that proper attention is given to problem gambling during all 12 months of the year and not just during March. Not only do we want to increase public awareness of problem gambling, we also want to promote the availability of prevention, treatment, and recovery services for those who are in need. Additionally, we want to bring attention to the public health organizations, the advocacy groups, and the gaming licensees who incorporate problem gambling prevention and responsible gaming practices into their everyday operations. The issue is important. The National Council on Problem Gambling estimates that 1%, or roughly 2 million people in the United States, meet the criteria for gambling addiction in any given year. And as many as 3%, or upwards of 6 million people, are considered to have mild or moderate gambling problems. Research, however, indicates that most adults who gamble choose to do so responsibly. For these people, gambling remains just a game. But for many, it's not. Our job as gambling regulators, as administrators, operators, public health administrators, and advocacy groups is to shine a light on the very real issue of problem gambling and the millions of individuals nationwide who continue to gamble for reasons other than entertainment. The Commission is not a problem gambling prevention or treatment expert. We do, however, know people who are. To that end, I'd like to introduce Patricia Lincourt. Ms. Lincourt serves as the Associate Commissioner for Addiction Treatment and Recovery Services at Oasis. She has over 30 years of clinical and administrative experience in addiction, mental health and child welfare settings, and has a background as a program director of outpatient substance use disorder services. In her present position, Ms. Lincourt oversees Medicaid managed care policy and implementation, treatment policy and innovation, treatment metrics development, recovery centers, and peer service integration. Please welcome Commissioner Lincourt.
Thank you very much. On behalf of Commissioner Cunningham, I wanted to thank Robert Williams for organizing this event, and also a thank you to Jim Maney at the New York Council of Gambling, a partner in this with Oasis for many years, Keith White, the National Council on Problem Gambling. And what you said is so true. We have multiple ways that we work to prevent problem gambling by some of the marketing and public health approach to it, as well as treatment creating a whole network of treatment providers so that people have choice about where to receive services for both families and individuals who may find that they are in one of that significant portion of citizens that do experience problems with gambling. We also are focused very much on developing a network of peers who, because it's so often that initial peer contact that allows people to recognize that there is an issue and that there have been many people before them who've had success in addressing their problem gambling. So we have done a number of initiatives this year. One of them, because I do oversee Medicaid, is that we have ensured that Medicaid will reimburse for services in New York State. We have 36 outpatient programs that OASAS oversees that specialize in problem gambling. And every one of our ATCs, our addiction treatment centers, will provide inpatient services to people who have a problem gambling disorder. That's unusual. New York is fortunate in our ability to do that. And we have a specialized credential because as was introduced, I oversaw a substance use disorder treatment program. Addiction to gambling is very specialized, and people who treat it need to have that specialized experience and education. I also want to say a few words about the Hope Line. We have a Hope Line that has been well advertised and is very available to people and is very responsive. There are multiple pathways that people find through either texting or calling to the Hope Line. And what people can expect if they call that is to talk to someone who's trained in listening and also in helping to guide people to the correct service at the right time. And they also stay engaged by referring to the problem gambling resource centers that we work closely with as well. What we monitor as a state agency, we monitor that Hope Line and we monitor the referrals and the treatment experiences that people are getting through that network of treatment providers. So I do really appreciate the partnerships that we've made through the Partnership for Responsible Gaming, and expect that we'll continue that relationship for a long time.
Thank you, Commissioner. The New York Council on Problem Gambling is a not-for-profit independent corporation dedicated to increasing public awareness about problem gambling and disorder gambling, and advocating for support services and treatment for persons adversely affected by problem gambling. The Council is passionate about connecting problem gamblers in crisis with a trained clinician who can provide them with on-the-spot help and treatment options. There is no one more passionate about their work than their Executive Director. Please welcome Jim Mady.
Good afternoon, everybody. First of all, I want to thank all you folks for coming. I don't know who you are, don't know your names, but I appreciate that you are listening today about problem gambling and the effects it has on folks we care about. You know, it's interesting that nobody wants problem gambling. You guys tell me, we don't. Nobody wants it. But when it occurs, we want it. I want you to know that. We want it, and we want to be able to care and take care of folks that need assistance. If you know of anybody that needs assistance, one way or another, please reach out to us. Use just a phone call for information. I got some questions, I got some current. That is what we're supposed to do. Our job is to care and concern and to help folks that need it. Regardless, no barriers, no judgments, or anything. There's a huge stigma, as you know, especially tied into finances. How much did folks lose? We don't care about that. We only care about them getting back on the road and living a good life. And that's what our responsibility is. And I'll share it to you folks right now, because I've shared with these guys over the years. We care. If you know of anybody, family members, somebody down the road, just give them our number. Kelly will speak later on. That's who you're going to get on the phone, right here. Right there. Right? If you think about it, how lovely is that voice? You're going to listen to her. Please send folks to her. She cares. Second thing, media, thank you so much. Appreciate you coming. We could go out there and talk all day and all night, but what you guys do and what you're gonna do with this information is so valuable. Thank you. Please come again. Anything we can do to get a story out there, all we're gonna do is raise the awareness of problem gambling and get help for folks that need it. Commissioner, thank you for coming. This means a lot to us, our organization, people we advocate for. I'll only take a couple minutes. I think what we want to talk about today is being adaptable. And if you think about the RPP, we've been together for 10 years. 10 years ago, there's no Rivers. 10 years ago, there's no casino on the phone. 10 years ago, we were formed, we didn't know where the landscape was going to go. It's changed completely, hasn't it? This sucker has changed it all, the adaptability. We can gamble 24/7. 24/7. We don't take a stand for or against gambling. But we also know that 24/7 means that if people need assistance, they need to get it 24/7. They need to be able to be in touch with someone who cares. People that want to help them. That's what it means. Adapting to the situation that's occurring. And we know it's coming faster and quicker every day. The ability. Most of us folks, myself included, we're over 40. Life's changed a little bit, right? I got kids that are 21 and 23. They got this sucker down, right? They got it down. My daughter, 21, her boyfriend just turned 21. That day, signed up for FanDuel, which every boy does. That's who's 21 years of age. It's just a different animal than what we're used to. So once again, appreciate you guys coming, appreciate the information, and we will continue, speaking for Wayside and the Gaming Commission, the RPP, we will continue to adapt to the circumstances. But one message that we'll always hear is that we have care and concern for the folks that need it. Right? And we know there's folks that need it. Each and every one of us knows someone that needs services. Right? Please send them to us. Please send them to us. We will help. We will care. We share with the new folks that come to work for us. We think about it. If it's your mom that calls, how would you want her to be treated? How would you want your mom to be treated if she needed help? Problem gambling. That's how we treat every person that calls. And that's our commitment to each and every one of you in the state of New York, to care for folks that need it. So we advocate for those that don't have a voice, right? That are full of shame because they've lost, full of shame because they've missed things, full of shame because they haven't been with their kids or their family or whatever, full of shame. Ours is to help them heal, and we do a pretty good job of it. So I appreciate your Wayside, the Gaming Commission, the media, and each and every one of you. This is the addiction that we all need to work together, right? Each and every one of us have to work together on this. It's different than anything else. We need your assistance. We expect your assistance, want your help, and our commitment to you is we will give everything we have to help folks heal. Thank you for coming today.
Thank you, Jim. The Commission has dedicated significant resources towards the issue of voluntary self-exclusion. Before the law required it, the Commission established, standardized, and expanded a self-exclusion policy to allow people to self-exclude from all forms of legal gambling in New York. For those who are not aware, voluntary self-exclusion is a self-directed intervention program allowing gamblers to cause themselves to be denied access to gambling venues or activities for an agreed upon time. Such programs are effective, but sometimes understanding the process can be difficult and navigating the forms necessary to self-exclude challenging. To address these concerns, the New York Council has been developing a plan that seeks to make the process more understandable. Our next speaker has been working on this project and will share some details. Please welcome Amy McBride.
Thank you. I am truly honored to be here today to announce the New York Council on Problem Gambling's first ever voluntary self-exclusion support program, and we're scheduled to launch that on June 1st. This is a program that's near and dear to my heart. Previous to becoming an assistant director, I was also a program manager, and I was answering those phone calls and supporting individuals on the other end that really needed and wanted help for problem gambling, and family members as well. And one common issue that came up time and time again was wanting to self-exclude or not even knowing that program existed, and walking folks through that and what it looked like and what the options were. There's currently 2 options for voluntary self-exclusion. One is to go to a gaming facility such as Rivers and complete the paperwork at the security office. The other option is to complete the paperwork through the mail. And if you decide to do that option through the mail, you have to get that paperwork notarized. And the council realized that there was a gap for folks that were nervous about going to their local post office or bank to complete that paperwork, or they just had a lot of questions about the process and what it looked like and what it entails and what's going to happen. So this program is coming about to hopefully close that gap, to get people connected to the information that they need, the support that they are looking for to complete the paperwork. And then the other exciting piece of this new program is going to be helping folks get that form notarized electronically. So that's something that's going to be available through this program. People can have notary services done from the comfort of their home. They don't have to come into a casino. They don't have to go out of their home to get their paperwork notarized. We'll be able to do it electronically and then have them mail that paperwork in. As I said before, we're also going to be able to help answer some questions and then provide some referral services as well to our wonderful already existing PGRC system. Because we know the VSE program is fantastic and has helped so many individuals in New York State, but we also know that it's a tool, and there's other tools that are also readily available to people, whether it's treatment with a trained clinician that can help them with their gambling problem, or if they're looking to be part of a recovery community, that's something we can get them connections to. And we're excited to have people utilize this wonderful program of VSE, and also, just to make it easy. It should not be difficult. It should not be hard for folks to get the help that they're wanting and needing. As Jim was saying, people who struggle with a gambling problem often have a lot of shame and guilt. And we want to remove that barrier. We want to get people the help, because it's hard to ask for help. Think about a time in your life when you've needed help for something. It's hard to take that step, especially with a stranger, and say, I can't do this alone, I need help. So we should be making it as easy and simple as possible to get folks the needed care and support that they're asking for. So that's what we're hoping with this new program, is to get folks connected quickly, easily, without judgment, and without barriers. Our services are confidential, and they're at no cost to the individual, thanks to the wonderful support that we receive through Oasis. I just want to close by saying, if anyone at all is interested in learning more about this program, we would like you to reach out to us, and you can do that easily by calling our new number, the 1-833 here to help. And we also have a new email, which is vsesupport@nycpg.org. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Amy. One great effort by our fellow agency Oasis is their development and support of problem gambling resource centers. These centers, who are programs of the New York Council on Problem Gambling, have been established throughout the state. The goal of the problem gambling research centers is complementary to what the Commission, Oasis, and the New York Council are trying to achieve: to address problem gambling across New York State by increasing public awareness about problem gambling, and by connecting those adversely affected by gambling with services that can help them. Our penultimate speaker is somebody who carries out gambling resource services in this region. We are fortunate to have with us the program manager for the Northeast Problem Gambling Research Center. The Northeast region is huge. It encompasses Albany, Clinton, Columbia, Essex, Franklin, Fulton, Greene, Hamilton, Montgomery, Rensselaer, Saratoga, Schenectady, Schoharie, Warren, and Washington counties. I am pleased to introduce the Northeast's program manager, who will provide an overview of the services that are provided by the Northeast Problem Gambling Resource Center, the critical relationship between her resource center and Rivers Casino, and the importance of having trained problem gambling clinicians available locally. Please welcome Kelly Delaney.
Thank you very much. I first want to say thank you to everyone that has given us the opportunity to come and speak today and really give you an overview about what it is that we do here at the council and why it is so important. So again, my name is Kelly Delaney and I'm the Northeast Program Manager. Joined with me today is Cassandra Ferrugia. She is my colleague and team leader here at the Northeast. So again, our mission consists of two entities. The first one being we are here to raise awareness on problem gambling. The reason that that is so important is because problem gambling is still not seen as an addictive behavior. Some people may not understand or realize that they have a problem with gambling because it's not seen as if it would be a substance abuse or an alcohol addiction. So it's really important for us to be able to get the word out there to people. So the ways in which that we do that is we do a lot of community outreach. So we are currently working on reaching out to college-age students. We're trying to give PG 101s to people just to let people know that gambling can become problematic very quickly, and if it does become a problem, we are here to help. We also put a lot of effort into our partners around the community. So as previously stated, we are within 15 counties of our region. That's a very large part of New York State. So we have a lot of different recovery groups that we work with, a lot of ATCs that we work with, because we want to make sure that they know that we're out there. So if they have a client that they want to refer to us, they know where to send that client to get the proper help, and vice versa. If there's a client that calls into us that needs a little bit of extra care, we know where to send them. We also like to hold events. So last September was Recovery Month. So we put on a fun run event just to be able to raise awareness and get people talking about what's going on. That's one of our biggest missions on raising awareness, is getting people to talk about problem gambling, because it is very stigmatized and people do not like to talk about that very much if they're going through it. Another thing that we like to do is we like to do a lot of social media posting. So that's very important, on just being able to raise awareness, get statistics out, get data out, and let people know that gambling can be problematic. We're constantly learning and growing based on the new trends that are coming out. So for example, last year with the legalization of mobile sports betting, we make sure to learn about it. This way we're able to get it out to people what's happening. So again, it may not be problematic for some people, but other people it might, and we'll be prepared so that when a client calls in, we know exactly what to do and what level of care they would require. So as the program manager, I have actually had experience myself with problem gambling, and I was connected to CARE, so I have my own personal experience with the council, and I was able to see just how important our job is here. I called the council several months into my recovery, not really knowing what to expect, because I really didn't know what problem gambling was. It was hard for me to talk about myself because there was nobody else that I knew that was struggling with what I was struggling with. I had a family member that had a problem with gambling. They didn't really know they had a problem with gambling, and I really didn't know how to help them or myself. I was left with feeling shame and stigma, just like you heard about previously. But by me making that phone call and hearing a warm, caring voice that was so willing to help and so ready to listen to my situation and to provide me with the care they felt I needed, that changed everything for me. That gave me the confidence, and that gave me what I needed to move forward with my recovery. And it also allowed me into a whole new world to realize that problem gambling is actually a thing. I was able to see a clinician within a week time, which we all could probably understand is not very easy. As clinicians, there's a wait list months out for that. So that's also very important to know. Our clinicians are ready to see clients within a week because they understand how quickly and how important it is for people to see different clients. So with that being said, my role as the program manager means everything to me, professionally and personally. Having the ability to connect people to the care that they need has been nothing but amazing in my life, and it's given me so many different outlooks on life and different views, as I hope comes through while I'm talking to clients. I want people to understand that they're calling in and they're not judged, and that we are genuinely happy that they gave us a call. So we really try to listen to people's stories because not everybody may be ready to see a clinician. So we really try to meet them where they're at and understand what type of care that they need, and also provide them with the care that's out there just so that they know. Whether it means we provide them with peer-led educational sessions where they can talk to peers one-on-one and get that support, or we could refer them to Gamblers Anonymous or Gam-Anon meetings so that they're able to kind of meet with other peers going through the same trouble, or just providing them with that information with our contact information so that they're able to contact us if they wanted further help. So I would like to conclude just by saying that what we do here at the council is so important. It has been so important for me, and it is constantly growing, just as Jim was saying. We're constantly changing, and with that, we're always expanding. We're expanding our knowledge, we're expanding our resources, we're expanding to meet the needs of the clients, which is so important to us. We just want to see people get the help, and we're happy and ready to help. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly. Our final speaker today is Laura Premiano. Ms. Premiano is presently Vice President of Hospitality here at Rivers Casino and Resort. In her role, her position touches upon all facets of the guest experience. I look forward to hearing Ms. Premiano discuss the commitment of Rivers, Schenectady, in raising problem gambling awareness.
Thank you, and thank you everyone for being here today. I want to thank our stakeholders, the New York State Gaming Commission, the Office of Addiction Services and Support, and the National and New York Councils on Problem Gambling. As the #1 entertainment destination in the Capital Region, River greatly values the ongoing partnerships we have with the New York State Gaming Commission and other stakeholders to promote and support responsible gaming and ongoing efforts to combat problem gambling. Although we are more than just a casino, with a landing hotel, live music, events, and numerous dining options, we certainly realize that gaming can lead to issues for some people. And it's important that we do all that we can to prevent problems and provide assistance to any guests in need. The prevention of problem gambling has always been a priority of Rivers Casino, Rush Street Gaming, and all the casinos it operates, and will continue to be a priority moving forward. We recognize the devastating impact that gambling addiction can do to individuals, families, and communities. As a premier gaming destination, it's important that we address and combat these issues so we can continue to be trusted and a valuable community partner. Some of the things that Rivers does to help prevent problem gambling is we have training for every new hire, any new team member that comes on board, to identify the signs of problem gambling and how to recommend help to a guest. That training is also done annually as a refresher to all of our team members. We have the Hope New York messaging with a helpline on all Rivers Casino marketing, advertising, and branding materials. We have a partnership with the New York Northeast Council on problem gambling for treatment, a valuable resource for our guests that need assistance. And we also have the self-exclusion program in process. Again, I'd like to thank all of our stakeholders who are here today. At Rivers, we want to continue to be the go-to place for entertainment in the region and strengthening of these ongoing partnerships to combat problem gambling and provide help and services for those in need. We can only make our community grow even stronger. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Laura. To conclude, I would like to take a moment to highlight New York's Hope Line number. It's 1-877-8-HOPE and wine. As a reminder, the Hope Line is a confidential support and referral hotline staffed by trained clinicians 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. In addition to addiction referral and support services, Hope Line staff can answer questions and help find problem gambling treatment and self-help in all areas of New York State. I want to thank Laura Premiano and Rivers Casino and Resort Schenectady for hosting today's event, and thank Chairman O'Dwyer, Commissioner Lincourt, Director Maney, Assistant Director McBride, and Program Manager Delaney for assembling here today to raise awareness of problem gambling. Thank you very much.